And welcome back to Message to Our Kids, the podcast. My name is Benjamin Norman, your host. Probably the first time I'm really trying this on video in a new format. So I'm going to be launching this on our Forgive to Live YouTube channel. So if you can, this is a brand new channel. We just started literally today. I have like 6 subscribers. I think I've got like 6 videos so far up there. I mean, we're literally just getting started. So if you're listening to this in the audio version, definitely head over to YouTube, subscribe. You'll get to see my face. We're going to be doing interviews and all kinds of stuff with people as we go. We're going to be doing a little bit more of an in-depth format inside of Forgive to Live also. So definitely want you to check that out. So today I wanted to talk about, where we've been really the last 10 months. I've been doubled down on two key areas. The first one was my family. So continuing to build strong, rock-solid relationships with my children, especially, at their differing ages. My son Aiden, the oldest, he's about to start school after high school. Which is really good. And then we've got our daughters in high school and junior high, definitely getting run through the ringer today with just the way kids are today and social media, bullying, things like that. Really bringing me back to junior high and high school days where people are cliquey and, this one's doing this to this one and that one and this one. And it's just like every day is an unfolding story of drama, heartbreak, breakups, re-get-togethers, all kinds of things. So definitely been focused there. Been focused on sustained, loving connection with my wife, and then inside of the work, the work of just working to heal, guide, transform, and help people discover who they've been their entire life. We've built something that's just simply incredible inside of Forgive to Live, and I'm proud of it. This is something that, that's been a quest for me as this podcast has unfolded over the years. I think my last episode was in February. But we have ran a retreat successfully every single month since the start of this thing, which was last September. It's just been unbelievable. It's been an unbelievable journey. To just have the opportunity to come and walk alongside the people who have showed up to our retreat center in Vermont has been truly amazing. We've got people from all walks of life, all different kinds of backgrounds, different stories. We've heard every possible variation of what I call darkness, over the course of the last year or so. I mean, the stories that I've heard of tragedy and the things that people have had to overcome in their life is just it's been one just awe-inspiring to hear all the different permutations of where human beings just get it wrong. Something happens inside their life and they put on a belief about themselves that's simply not true. And the more they believe this belief about themselves, the more it limits them inside their life. The more they get stuck in these reoccurring themes, self-fulfilling prophecies, things like that, just wanting to just escape from the hell, that they believe they've been thrown into, when in reality, it was in fact created by themselves, oftentimes as a child, because the brain just simply doesn't have the capacity to rationalize some of the deeply emotional scarring that happens during childhood in some situations. So it's just simply been amazing. And, I'm going to hopefully pick this back up again. I was consistently creating this podcast and having listeners and all of that. And, I'm sure it's gone cold. And, that's kind of the way it goes. Sometimes life pulls you away from things and you've got to focus and try to figure it out. And I've just been in a really long season of getting very clear on what it is that I want in my life and where am I going? This whole thing started by me asking a question to my heart, my soul, the Holy Spirit, what I believe resides here inside of my heart center versus up here in my mind. And once I had established that connection to get out of this thing that has been running me all these years, and really start to cultivate a relationship spiritually with myself, I started to trust and follow my own guidance. And oftentimes, all I'm hearing is like the next step I need to take. And I've just built up this ability to just take that step, even when not knowing, all the milestones ahead or how the path is going to unfold. It's been quite the journey living from a place of faith versus living from a place of, I need to know every twist and turn, every angle, every direction this is going to go in order for me to feel comfortable and to be safe. I have built myself to be completely uncomfortable, to literally sit inside of the fire of, my finances burning down inside my family as I'm chasing this thing. And to be comfortable sitting inside of that fire. And it's not easy. It's not easy sitting inside of a place of, place of judgment from my peers or my family members, for example. It's not easy sitting inside of like the negative feedback that I'm getting, and, and the looks and the questioning and the comments I hear sometimes, like, why don't you go get a job, for example? It's like, dude, I have a job and it's incredibly fulfilling and I love it. So it's been quite the journey, riding that out. And so my intention right now is to just get this thing back up and running in a whole new format, to really continue to spread the message. And the message is about connecting to your light, connecting to the light that you have carried your entire life. This is yours. You've had it. You've never lost it. It's not someplace out there that you have to go find it. Literally, you've had it since a child. You were a child. You were born carrying this light. It is you. It is the soul that resides inside of the temple, that represents your body. So inside of this conversation, my intention is to bring all kinds of people on here, have interviews, talk about struggle and what they've had to overcome, because every single person on this planet has darkness. And what I mean is you've got the, struggles from your past, you've got the pain of your human experience, the things you've had to overcome. You've got your childhood, and look, just because, you hear things like childhood trauma and all this stuff, that doesn't mean that, you had to be sexually abused when you were a kid or you went through some abusive situation. Like, you can have trauma as a child without ever being exposed to any of those things. And it has nothing to do with the fact that your parents were crappy and they didn't raise you right. It has everything to do with like how the brain functions, and how things go. When you're a kid and you're growing up and you don't have the cognitive and emotional capacity to understand, the complexity and the dynamics of relationships and things like that, oftentimes the brain is going to create a story about a human being that, is simply not true. But the crazy part about it is, and as I've done this work and I've worked with many, many souls this year, the crazy part that I've come to discover about the brain, when the brain like locks this down and says, nope, we are not going to allow you to go here. We are going to block you from remembering this and all of that. It leaves little kernels, little nuggets, little memories, flashes of your childhood for you to then come back as an adult and discover and look at with your adult eyes and see the truth for what it actually is. And this is where people say, oh my gosh, my dad and my mom yelled at me because they were scared. They were worried. They loved me. They really, truly loved me, and they've loved me all along, and I just didn't see it. Your brain is an amazing thing. And of course we don't understand all the complexity of it. But the message that I have today is about embracing darkness. Embracing darkness, right? It's like people want to run from darkness, run from the pain, run from the hurt, run from the trauma, run from the difficulty. But the thing that I've realized just in my own life is that you can't run from this pain. You can't run from the darkness of a marriage that has failed. You can't. You have to turn and you have to engage. You have to face it. And the more you can turn and lean in and lean into the darkness and lean into that pain, the more you can stop, stop running, escaping, hiding from it, being trapped in all the different ways you can escape in today's world, whether it's social media, video games, porn, alcohol, cigarettes, cigars, gambling, freaking sports, whatever the case may be. If you could just stop doing all of that as a means to get out and escape from whatever it is that you're running from, and turn and face it, what you will find is the greatest source of light that you could ever have in your life. And it's found inside of your deepest darkness. It's found inside of the pain. So it's like, I was taught by my teacher, you have to go into the night to find the light. And I was like, man, I don't get this, but I'm going to follow it. And I did. And what I found inside of my own struggles and my own pain was just this unbelievable truth about the real nature of who I am at the level of soul, and what it means to be somebody who says, I am a great father of humanity. And being anchored to that light is what has enabled me to face the darkness, because darkness is always coming. As an interfaith minister, I've studied a lot of the different forms of spirituality out there. It's the reason why my wife and I have matching tattoos. If I could only get this to show up on the camera, you can see this is supposed to be a yin and yang. I need to get it fixed, but it's peace and love. But just like yin and yang is light and dark, you cannot have dark without light. You cannot have light without dark. You don't know one without the other. And that's the amazing duality that we live in, as human beings. But most people don't have that distinction in life. They just think that, oh my gosh, my life is sucky. This is not going the way that I want it to. I have all this darkness that's happening, and for whatever reason, I can't escape it. And I wish and I hope and I want my life to just be different. But no matter what I do, nothing ever changes. So you know what? I'm just going to give up and say, forget it all. And I'm just going to accept that this is the way it is. It is what it is. And then they become, thank God it's Friday, people. And holy crap, it's Monday and the weekend's gone. And life just kind of drifts away. And for me, that's not the life that I want to live. I don't want to live that life. I don't want to be on my deathbed and be laying there with regret. I don't want to be there when my story is done. I don't want to be there and say, I wish I would have done it differently. I wish I would have done this. I wish. I don't want any regrets when I'm dead. And the only insurance policy that I know against that outcome is by learning to trust and listen to my own voice. Even in the face of everybody else not agreeing with me. Even when it's freaking hard and it's difficult and I'm crying because the struggle is so real, I will follow my own voice and my own heart until the end of time, because it will never guide me wrong. And that's the kind of cultivation of faith and intuition that we talk about inside of Forgive to Live, especially inside of our retreat. And this is what we're really working on. The retreat is all about just getting somebody to connect to their light and then seeing how that unfolds and unlocks their entire world. I mean, I've watched entire storylines in the course of 3 days go from the most unbelievable pain and darkness to the most incredible light. I've watched years drop off people's faces. I mean, it's like it feels magical, like being in that spot and watching somebody literally realize, like, oh my gosh, I am loved, I am accepted, I am seen, I am heard, I am worthy of all this. Like, to see that unfold, it's a miracle. It's like the scene from the closest I can kind of relay this in imagery is actually in the Lord of the Rings second movie, when Gandalf is actually freeing the king of Rohan from the grip that Saruman has on him, and he's like this wrinkled old man. It's like that old Bill Cosby skit when he's talking about parenting, and he's like, your parents, like, they look like this and their face is all scrunched up, and then all of a sudden, like, you just see the wrinkles kind of like fold away and the light returns to their face, and it's unbelievably magical. But you can only find that by leaning into the darkness that you're faced with. So today I want to leave you with a question. What is the biggest source of darkness in your world today? What is it? And I want you to post. Drop a comment. Like, give me an opportunity to engage with you. Give me an opportunity to speak light into you, to give you something, anything to help you on your journey, because that's what makes my soul happy and that's what makes my soul sing. So if you're listening in on YouTube, drop a comment down below. Let me engage with you. I would love to just, be able to hear you out, speak some light into you. If you're following us on Facebook or any of the other social channels we got out there, definitely encouraging you to engage. And I'm looking forward to this relaunch. And wherever you are today, may light always guide your path, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks.